Hello to my family. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, it's Tuesday evening. There's a lot of critters out here, a lot of the ducks. So you're going to hear a lot of Muscovy ducks and all kinds of stuff. But I've been following some stuff on Facebook tonight, and it, it just makes me want to send a message to people. Um, for anybody that does not know, I basically live in Southwest Florida. I was in the Fort Myers region. I'm just a little south of that right now, only by a handful of miles in Bonita Springs. But there is a restaurant that started in Fort Myers near the San Carlos Park region of Southwest Florida. And they started, and when they opened up their restaurant, it was perceived as controversial because of the name of their restaurant, FK Your Diet. People thought it meant like, screw your diet. That's not what it means. But it was brilliant marketing on their part, especially when they followed up with all the actions that they have done. So, FK Your Diet stands for Foster Kid Your Diet. There's two owners, the main primary owners. I'm not sure how they, how the division works when they franchised. I think they have approximately 6 stores right now in different regions of Florida, like Orlando. I know there's Cape Coral. There's different areas, but um, they are the most generous, kind, giving souls I've ever known on this planet. And I don't know them real well. I'm not going to lie to you, but I know them well enough, and I follow them well enough on what they do for the community, and it's truly amazing. So, my message tonight is just because you are not a local Southwest Florida resident, please do not discard or neglect viewing what they have done for the community. There was another post tonight. They are constantly going to Fort Myers Beach, which was destroyed. When I tell you destroyed, it was under like 12 to 14 feet of water. Everything was basically leveled. It's going to take about 7 years to rebuild. So, what has transpired during this devastation is a lot of contractors or construction workers or tradesmen have relocated to our area to help themselves economically, to rebound. There's people from all over have come down here to try and help the cause. Some because they need the money, they need a job and everything. But so many of these people, unfortunately, a lot of these companies, they don't pay weekly. That's like kind of one of the struggles I'm going through right now. Um, so let's say hypothetically you worked Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You didn't work the weekend or whatever, and then your next check might be the following Friday, and you're getting paid for 3 days, and then you have to wait 2 more weeks to get a full paycheck. So that can be very difficult on people. So, so many of these people, as FK Your Diet will tell you about, they are living in tents. They're living in their car, and we've had this week was a little bit cooler, like somewhat, but I mean we've had temperatures near the 90s. We are going into a spell this weekend where the temperatures are going to be in the low 90s. With the heat index, it would be probably at least 95. So that is very difficult to deal with when you're sleeping in a tent, when you're in a car. If you're low on income or money, your finances, you're like, I'm going through a struggle right now. My air conditioning barely works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But try and imagine sleeping in your whatever it is, a minivan, a Kia, whatever you own, and it's in the 80s when you're sleeping, or 85 or whatever, for the most part. So that can be very difficult. And then you have to think about um, where they have a lot of restrictions on where what people can and cannot do on the island. You got to understand, Fort Myers Beach, the island itself, I think it's called Estero Island, is actually only 7.5 miles long, but there's a lot of restrictions. They had heavy devastation. So, like, you just don't get up and walk in the next room and go tinkle. Excuse me. So you just don't walk up in the next room and, pleasantly take a number two. Everything for those people is a struggle. Trying to find food is a struggle. And I cannot underestimate the importance of that last statement. Trying to stay alive with food if you're economically challenged while you're trying to rebuild your life and the lives of others who have lost, their homes and, what have you. So I really implore everybody, and I would love as many people that can do this for me to share as much information as possible about FK Your Diet. I don't think they do any YouTube stuff, but they are very, very big and active on Facebook. So I'm asking as many people, as many friends, I don't care if you're a friend, we're strangers, I don't care if you like me or dislike me, the cause is very, very noble and very well worth being talked about or acknowledged or viewed. Or I know a while back, don't quote me on the numbers, but they at one point they had fed, since Hurricane Ian, mostly all over Southwest Florida, they had fed over 150. They had given out 150,000 free meals. When I say meals, free. So they were able to connect with some very high powered organizations. They have donated so much furniture, so much clothing. People come into them every day. The owners are Doug and Amy. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I've mentioned them before, but people come to them every day and hit them up for requests or needs. And I truly believe most of those are legit and proper. And I've never heard of them turning anybody down. I don't know what all the requests are. I'm not that close to them. I've helped them out on some Thanksgiving Day meals where they did feed foster kids and things like that. But I would say to date, with no exaggeration, based on their presence in Fort Myers Beach weekly and everything, they have probably fed over 300,000 people since Hurricane Ian. If I remember the correct date on Hurricane Ian, I think it was September 29th or something like that. And we're in March right now. So their contribution just, I don't know how I can convey this where I really wish people could. Uh, it, there's so many good causes out there, but I really want people to go really investigate FK Your Diet on Facebook. Look at some of the things they've done. They're always posting good, positive things. You know, their impact is just amazing. And like I did a short video yesterday. This will actually be tomorrow, which would be the March 22nd. Um, but basically, our society needs more mentors, and these are like perfect role models for that. What they often do is they will hire homeless people to work in their kitchen to help build them up, build up their self-esteem, get them back on their feet. And what Doug and Amy did, this is this makes me tear up a little bit. For like a year and a half, a month and a half or 2 months, I lived in the back of my van after Hurricane Ian. I did not like that. Too many, I survived it, obviously, not pleasantly, but I survived it. But Doug and Amy are real good people. What they did was a lot of their employees lost housing as well because they lived next to that local restaurant. So what they did was they basically gave up their own home and let employees live in their own home. And then they were pretty much like nomads or gypsies. They found places to sleep with friends or here and there, but basically they sacrificed their own happiness, their own livelihood to help others. You talk about the ultimate sacrifice. You know, there's all kinds of ways you can describe the ultimate sacrifice, but when you give up so much, when you give more to others than you do for yourself, man, that's a special person, in my opinion. Or in this case, it would be special people. So I'm sorry. I don't know what goes on the other side of this, way far on the other side of this neighborhood. There must be like a people drag race or something. I'm sorry for the background noise. But anyway, so once again, I'm just going to ask, and I'm almost going to beg for people, please go look at the Facebook page called FK space your space diet. And it is very, very special what they have done for so many human beings. And the greatest thing about those folks is they do not discriminate. You could be young, you could be old, you could be fat, you could be skinny, you could be black, or you could be Hispanic, or you could be, an amputee. It doesn't matter to them. They're going to help you. And with the assistance of my friend Jason Johnson, JJ Drones, we were able to make a nice fishing tackle kit donation to Doug. And I just happened to, ironically, I've been trying to catch up with him for a while, and I bumped into him at the parking lot of Walmart. This has been, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. I don't know how long ago it was, but we, matter of fact, it wasn't probably that long ago because February, it was a pay it forward February type thing, plus a hashtag find a way to serve. So I gave him that, and then we kind of talked briefly. And there's so many nice things I could say about these people, but at that time, he introduces me to a couple that had relocated here from Ukraine due to their war, their turbulence going on in that country, that turmoil or whatever you want to call it. And so he's basically taking them under his wing, making sure they're fed, treated like decent human beings, and then also taking them to Fort Myers Beach. And they do like pop-up canopies. They also have a food truck. I don't know. I'm not sure if they take the food truck to Fort Myers Beach or it's just pop-up canopies and they put grills but it could be both. I'm not 100% certain on that. But basically, Doug is a very smart individual. He has a lot of international and worldwide connections to help people. So there's all kinds of grants. He can hire people to do so many things, and he even discussed a little bit with me. And I'll probably touch on that a little bit more in a future video. But I mean, think about this, man. Like, what they are doing is my goal. Like, they are living my dream to help people. I will tell you a little bit of what I know about Doug. He did, or still does, is part owner of a rubbish company in Ohio, I think it was. And I guess they did pretty well for themselves. So he's giving back to society for his hard work and effort. And I don't think I talked about this earlier, but Doug, he was a foster kid growing up. So he understands the system, the process, all the problems a foster child can go through, or in this case, a foster kid, FK, a foster kid. So he often does so many things. I cannot convey to you enough. Please go to their Facebook page. Don't get bored after reading 1, 2, 3, 10. I mean, if you can devote 2 hours of your life to read as much of their story as possible, it would be really, really amazing. I'm not. You can probably see the underlying message in all of this. I'm sure their money's going to run out eventually, but their main focus right now is keeping people alive and trying to rebuild parts of Florida. So if you can find it in your heart in any way to try and reach out to them, I don't know if anybody is somewhat local to, the Florida region. If anybody can reach out and perhaps donate some funds to them, anything you can do, you might be able to do like Amazon gift cards, or like Walmart gift card, or anything you can do, because literally they are spreading joy and happiness every day to people who have no lifeline. It's so hard to see so much of our community like that. Where I'm staying with my mother right now, this community fared a little bit better, but literally Fort Myers Beach is 6, 7, 8 miles down the road. They got destroyed, devastated. So many parts of the coastline are destroyed. So I don't care if FK, your diet, was in Kansas, Wyoming, California, Oregon, North Dakota. What they are doing is very, very special. They're not only doing it for Americans, they're doing it for people from all over the world, as I stated previously, for the people from Ukraine. Matter of fact, there's another local app. We have something down here called the Nextdoor app, and it's like a community application, and people were talking about different things. And another family was hosting 1 or 2 people from Ukraine, and I suggested that they hook up with Doug and Amy because of the other couple from Ukraine that is here, and that they could really find ways to get assistance and feel more at home with more Ukraine type, common interests and, similar circumstances, based on their country's tragedy. So I'm going to try and wrap this up. I'm going to probably post this early in the morning tomorrow. Um, I, I, this is the one time I'm going to beg and plead to people. If you can find it any way in your heart to do one of two things, please view and understand what these people are doing to help other people. And two, if you can assist them in any way, be please jump on. It's a positive train that what they're conductors of positive uh, influence, to so many people. Originally it was just foster kids, and then so many things happen. Now they're helping senior citizens. They're helping just local residents. They're finding housing for people. They're doing so much. And when, like I told you earlier, just so you remember, in case you're only catching bits and pieces of this, this broadcast, whatever. Um, Man, two people, Doug and Amy, feeding at least 300,000 meals to local people. Some are different parts of Florida, that still were impacted too. Mostly it's Southwest Florida where I live in this region. Man, that is that is special. And for anybody that has not watched any of my content previously, I was displaced for a couple of reasons due to the hurricane, and I had to pretty much hang out at a shelter. It was a community center that was turned into a hurricane emergency shelter. I never did sleep inside the shelter for safety reasons, but I knew I could stay safe in my van. But I would go utilize the showers, receive some food, meals, at least one or two a day. Sometimes there's only one or whatever. But what touched my heart is one day I'm in there. I never did talk to Doug when he was in there. I did see him and realize I knew what he was doing right away. He talked to everybody involved. Now you're dealing with FEMA, the American Red Cross, Lee County Sheriff's Office, the Hysteric Rec Center, and all these people. All these organizations are there. And he convinced them. He said, "Hey, basically, can I bring my food truck down here tomorrow and feed as many people as I can for free?" I already knew what he was doing. I didn't have to hear the conversation. The next morning, the food truck was there. He's feeding people. So I would love for people to find a way uh, to help out like those people do. Not everybody has the financial capabilities. Obviously, I'm far from that. So my way to help is try and spread their message. Um, you know, if you live in, Phoenix, Arizona, can you do something similar? What can you do? Um, it's so powerful. So weird. Like I said this like probably 30 years ago. People helping people should not be a hard concept or something hard to just be able to do. That's just think about that. People helping people. What is wrong with that? What that is basic humanity. You know. So I'm gonna end this video right now, and if you can please do that. I don't, please, if you can go over there, shoot them a message. Um, whatever you can do, send them words of encouragement. Whatever you can do, it would be greatly appreciated. They really bust their behinds to help other people more than they help themselves. So, matter of fact, they probably sleep 3 or 4 hours a night. They're always helping other people. They're sleeping in their vehicles sometimes. I don't know what's transpired since. I don't know if they're back in their own home yet, but people like that need to be acknowledged and rewarded in some fashion. When I say rewarded, like I've said before, compliments are free. But if you have the financial capability to help them out, I'm not saying, go throw them $10,000. If you can do that, that would be great too. But, if, if you can find a way to help them, contact them, let them know that Gary's thinking about them. So many people in this region are thinking, they know that already. They already know. I mean, I guarantee you, Doug or Amy could run for, you know, the Senate or governor or whatever and win an alliance side because their reputation for helping humanity. So that's I feel our society needs to get back to more basic common sense, helping others, people helping people, and just basic general assistance to humanity. So with that, I'm going to end this video. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to spread here. This message, it may not be local to you, but it's local to humans. It represents all of us. So thank you very much. I hope you guys respect and honor what I'm trying to do here.